uses of crutch or filler words such as ums, ahs, so's, and likes, and I'll be counting those throughout the course of the meeting, and I'll give an updated report towards the end to let everyone know how much of those filler words they used.
Thank you, Don. All right, well, tonight is it's time for our first speaker, or I guess we have two speeches tonight. Diego will be our first speaker, and then
Sean, you have to ask about table topics and the general evaluator.
okay. The general evaluator for the meeting is Justin, and I know something you have to.
Sure, I'll just describe the role. So the general evaluator runs the evaluation portion of the meeting, calls on the other evaluators, and then at the end of that session provides an overview of how the meeting went.
Thank you, Justin. And I'm going to be doing table topics master as well. So I have done a little research, and I've got a. Hopefully, it'll be a fun activity for table topics. That's what the bag's about, but I won't give you all any more hints about that.
Excellent. Looking forward to
It's a
it.
bag of tricks. Just kidding. Okay, so we have two speeches. Diego is our first speech tonight, and then Olivia is going to do a speech, the second speech. So without further ado, Diego is going to give us our first speech.
Thanks so much, Sean. I got to set up the monitor system.
What's the name of the speech, Diego?
Solutions to climate change. Okay, I think I'm ready. My fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, in the Innovative Planning Pathways module of our Toastmasters new program, I've been asked to do a research and presentation speech tonight. And my focus, of course, is on climate change, a very important environmental problem that is frequently on my mind. And I wanted to share with you all again why it's a problem here, what innovative strategies and technologies are on the horizon for us, and also growing with great popularity. But just to reiterate one more time, climate change happens when we emit greenhouse gases at a rate faster than the natural Earth processes are able to reabsorb them. For example, CO2 absorption into our oceans, and photosynthesis when CO2 is absorbed by plants for their plant tissue. And CO2 is public enemy number one when it comes to this problem, because it is the most abundant greenhouse gas in our atmosphere, and it has the longest life cycle in our atmosphere, more so than other greenhouse gases like water vapor. And that is primarily due to the fact because of our human activities like fossil fuel consumption and deforestation. And this is a pie chart from the EPA that was developed over a research period from 1999 to 2017, illustrating that US's most frequently emitted greenhouse gas is carbon dioxide. And this research, the fact that CO2 is the most abundant greenhouse gas was also provided by research conducted by the International Panel on Climate Change from a 2013 report. And now I want to talk about the two important solutions that are fortunately gaining more and more traction every day and every year. And that is, of course, solar energy and hybrid electric vehicles. When it comes to solar panels specifically, the cost of solar electric technology in a system has decreased by about 50%, and that is primarily due to the fact that solar panel construction has decreased roughly by around 60% as well. Since 2008, the US installations have gone from providing 1.2 gigawatts of energy to now at around 30 gigawatts of energy. So that's really great news, and it's great to hear that this technology is only getting more and more efficient and accessible for the United States, but also hopefully for the global population as well. This also means that 5.7 million average American homes can be powered by this technology as well. Not only is this new technology good for our planet, it is also good for our American economies. As of November 2010, again from the Department of, I forgot to mention that all of this research is being backed up by the Department of Energy Research and their Office of Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency as well. Anyways, their report explains that there are about 209,000 workers employed by the solar energy industry since November 2010 as well. And now I want to transition to talking about the promise of electric and hybrid vehicle technology as well. This pie chart demonstrates that transportation is considered to be the biggest emitter of greenhouse gases according to this EPA research as well. Again, the Department of Energy provides a lot of great research and promise on this technology as well, explaining that in May 2017, through a report that they developed, they found that powering the average electric vehicle is equivalent to filling up the tank of a gas-powered car on the basis of $1.1217 per gallon. That's roughly half of the market price of gasoline in the American market today. So that's really great news as well. Not only does electric vehicles not emit greenhouse gases to the same extent that gas vehicles do, but we are also, with this electric technology, we are avoiding tailpipe emissions, which not only power the vehicles that we use every day, but the byproducts include things like smog-related pollutants and other pollutants, including nitrous oxides as well. So this is a great example of how clean energy technology also dovetails nicely with the global goals of a more healthy community, less human-made pollution sources that infect and cause harm to the United States and other global populations as well. And the final remark I have, again, is the same thing with solar energy technology providing a new opportunity for the US economy. The same can be said about electric vehicle technology as well. For example, a Nevada plant that's expected to be completed in 2020 is supposed to employ up to 10,000 workers specifically on building the electric vehicle batteries that are necessary to the electric vehicle economy in the United States. And I want to close my presentation by highlighting the sources that I used to inform this study and explain that these solutions are fortunately gaining more and more momentum across the United States, and we can do our part in the state of Alabama to support these new innovative technologies as well with smart investment strategies as well. And it's going to take cooperation on both sides of the aisle, Republican and Democrat, rural versus city, and young versus old. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Diego. I'll let you, while you're breaking down everything. Our second speech will be Olivia, and your speech topic is, maybe you'll come up here and tell them.
Okay.
How about that? Okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. My speech was kind of prepared at the last minute because I forgot, but I didn't want to not do my speech, so it's sort of a pocket speech and prepared, half pocket. So Here goes. The title of my speech is, What Do You Do? A 6-year-old little boy just learned how to ride a bike with no training wheels. He's riding high, soaring in his mind amongst the clouds. He is on top of the world. He is riding like a big boy. But one day as he was riding his bike, he looked out and saw his mom and said, "Mom, Mom, look at me." And she waved and said, "Yes, good job." And before you know it, he lost his balance and fell. He scraped his palms of his hands and his feet, and he's crying, and his mom runs over, and she notices that his ego and pride is hurt way more than his palms and his knees. So she picks him up and reassures him that, hey, everything is okay. You're going to be fine. You're doing a great job. Yes, you failed, but you're riding so much better than you were a few days ago, and things are only getting better from here. So it's going to be okay. She bandages up his wounds, and he wipes the tears from his eyes, and everything is now well. A long-term friend calls and crying hysterically, and she says, and so you say, "What's wrong? Why are you crying?" And she says, "I didn't get the promotion." And she's hysterical, and you say, "Hey, it's gonna be okay. It's all right. Hey, listen, calm down." You reassure her that it's all right. You're still gainfully employed. You have your health and your strength, and everyone's doing good. Don't worry. Eventually, a position will come along that will be just for you. The friend wipes her eyes. You go out and do what friends do. And for now, all is well. But what do you do when you need someone to talk to? What do you do when you keep falling off of your bike of life? What do you do when you call your friend and no one answers the phone? What do you do? Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. One of my favorite songs says, sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Sometimes you have to pat your own self on the back. Sometimes you have to speak victory during your test. So no matter how you feel, speak the word and you will be healed. Speak over yourself. You say, but how do I do that? Well, one way to encourage yourself is by doing just what the mother did to the 6-year-old. Reassure yourself that it's going to be okay. You're going to get back on. You're still alive, you're still breathing, you have your health and your strength, so it's going to be okay. Another thing you can do is be the friend, be what you were to the friend when they called when they didn't get the position or the promotion, and just reassure yourself, it's all right. One day a job will come along that will be just for me. Say positive things to yourself. Hey, I'm still breathing, I'm still alive, I have just enough fight left in me, and I'm going to win this race. Think about this for a moment, because one of the most positive ways to motivate yourself is through love. Think about someone that you were or is currently in love with. How do you feel about that person? How you want to make them happy and how you'll never do anything to hurt them. When was the last time you treated yourself that way? Statistics show that the mind over matter theory is also a positive and effective way of encouraging yourself. Teachers of positive thinking have long said that the mind over matter theory that has the power to influence the physical and to bring about what we think about. So if I can think it, then maybe it can be so. Another thing that has known to be effective is believing in a higher power, allowing your mind to leave the physical realm and enter into a more spiritual one. The Bible says in Proverbs, whatsoever a man thinketh, so is he. So if I had to sum up ways to encourage yourself, I would say speak positive. Love yourself. Spend time with your higher power. And when the time comes and you feel all alone, remember, encourage yourself. Treat yourself with love. Fall down, but don't be in languish. It's okay. Get back up. That's what you do.
That was a very encouraging speech. Okay, time for the table topics. And I'm the table topics master tonight, so I'm gonna say, let's get started. We're gonna be doing a little bit of math tonight. So I need a volunteer. It'll be easy. Oh, you already got, okay, Diego's a volunteer.
I like math.
Okay,
I like it.
all right, so you're kind of the, you know what, excuse me. I should have my cheat sheet here. Okay, so here's the table topics instructions. I've got a bag of coins, and you are to think of something to do with that year that you can talk about, or talk about the picture on the coin, or what you could buy with it, or the value of money. And then the last thing is, if you get this year on the coin, we're gonna, and you can't think of anything, we're gonna call on Diego to give us a number between 1 and 20, and that's what we're gonna add to that year to give us maybe another try.
Okay.
Does everybody understand? So, who could be the first volunteer?
Math, okay, math.
So I got a penny.
Can you see?
The year is 2003. It's just a regular old penny.
Are you taking it?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
take this. It's fine. So I drew a penny out of Sean's magical bag of money. I was hoping I'd pull out like a $100 bill, and if I had a really good table topics, he'd let me keep it, but now I got a penny. So I don't think I'm going to talk about what I could buy with this, because nowadays a penny really isn't worth a whole lot. And honestly, I haven't seen one of these in probably quite a while, because I do everything digitally now. But the year's 2003, so this is a recently made coin. Let's see, what was I doing in 2003? So I was still in high school. I guess I would be sophomore year of high school. And I wasn't thinking that I would be standing here talking to a bunch of fellow professionals in Mobile. I went to Foley High School. For those of you around the area, know it. It's where the outlet mall is, and it's the stop before you get to the beach. It's pretty much off Foley, but it is growing some. So yeah, in 2003, I was probably playing video games, maybe doing some skateboarding, playing soccer, and just, didn't have a lot of worries in life. It was simpler times. So that is what I was doing in 2003. Thank you.
He took the year. That worked out, so. So do we have another volunteer? Diego?
Okay. It's another penny.
I didn't filter the years either, so.
Oh God, I got 1987. So what were the options? It was a year, select a year, or
Select a year, or we can talk about the picture on the coin, or what you could buy with it, or you can just talk about money, value of money in general.
Or do some math.
Or we can do some math.
Add 20 years.
the value of
Talk about
money in
that.
general. I'll talk about that. Okay. All right, everyone. So I'm Diego, and I pulled a penny that was with Abraham Lincoln on it, of course, 1987. And I want to talk about the value of money. And I've had a very, I can't think of a better way to say it, but I've had a very interesting relationship about thinking about money, and that is because my first degree that I pursued was actually economics. And that was a very interesting experience for me because it really opened my eyes to understanding the American system that we have here about capitalism, of course, which operates under the principle that when you put in work, when you provide a benefit, a service to society, you should be compensated with cash. You should be provided with the means to provide food that will help sustain you for yourself, for your kids if you have families, for someone you care about, or if you want to give back to the community. And I originally, when I was much younger, I had a way more liberal mindset, and I guess I didn't particularly subscribe to that type of theory, or I found a lot of errors with it. I had a lot of concerns about it. But I think now, when I did an AmeriCorps program and I started trying to be more of an adult and try to provide for my family, I realized that I think I became a lot more conservative, and I became more willing to understand this type of economic system that we have. And I think that primarily goes back to the fact that I realized, okay, now I need to start providing money for myself. I need to start providing a source of living for myself. And under the current mindset of the American system, it operates under capitalism. And I do see some merit to that type of mindset under the principle of if you work hard and you want to give back to society, then this is the type of mindset, and you should be compensated justly with this type of money and the career that you chose. So that is my personal take on the value of money and the economic system today. Mr. Tabletop Toastmaster.
Thank you, Diego. We have time for maybe one or two more. Oh,
We got time.
two more.
4 minutes.
Is it all pennies?
There are some quarters on there.
How lucky are you?
I was gonna say y'all could keep the pennies, but it doesn't sound like.
Can I change this one? I don't even remember what was going on.
Okay,
That was important.
but Diego can pick a number between 1 and 20 for you.
It hasn't happened yet. The year hasn't happened yet. I can just make it up. Okay.
No, Diego picks a number between 1 and 20 to add to that. Would that get you in?
It's okay. I'll do this.
No, you can just grab it.
Okay. Straight on the rules tonight.
I just-
I just really wanted a quarter, but it didn't happen, so.
Did you get it this time?
Yeah, that's okay. All right, so I got the year 2000. I'm gonna add 20 to that. I'm gonna guess what I think the year 2020 will be. So when I was a child, it's only 2 years away. When I was a child, the year Back to the Future came out, and they said by this time we would be flying in jets, hoverboards, and it's crazy to think that none of that has happened. There's also the movie Fifth Element, and also similar predictions for where our society would be now, and none of that has happened. We're still ground bound, no anti-gravity things going on, no floating in the air. But 2020 will only be about a year and a half. Wait, 1 year? Wait, no, it's 1 year, sorry. I think that we will be in an interesting place in society with all the laws and the way that politics are going into law. No one wants to hear about the languish of our political situation right now. But I feel that in every course of history, when there is some kind of distress or disagreement or tension, that it always finds a way to resolve itself and people find a way to settle it amongst themselves. So I will guess that for the year 2020, that we will find a way to resolve all the disagreement and differences and issues that we feel are most important right now. Thank you.
Cheyenne. Very optimistic. We have one more volunteer. Okay, Donovan. I can't promise a 2020.
Well, I put my hand in the bag and I'm glad that a dragon did not bit my hand off. So, I drew a penny and it was in the 2000s, which is easier now because I was born then. So, I was born in 1999 and actually, well, it's kind of funny, but it's not sad. I always indicate the years of my sister and I. We were born was a dedication to our grandparents because that's right. My sister was born in 1997, but the year before was when my grandmother died. But in 1998 is when my grandpa died, and in 1999 I was born. I probably was switching some years off of my sister. She was probably born in 1996. I really don't remember, but I know it's sort of around those years. So I always think that years is about growing up, and growing up is a huge attribute that you need at any age. That right now the truth is all guys are inappropriate. That's the horrific truth. But we also know that it's about growing up. It's about the year that you were born through the lifespan that you have now. I grew since 1999. Since 2019, I've grew up tremendously from now. There are two eras. One era is when my dad or my folks was kids, and now they had their own kids, and closer and that sort of in that era, the second era. And we grew up, and we also have something called the annual O'Malley picnic every year. So the family picnic is basically originated from our grandparents. They started the picnic. And then that dropped down to their kids. And their kids hosted that picnic for them, in honor of them. Then I believe that when that generation, so that would mean that we, like the kids, like my sister, myself, my other two, my other brother and my sister, we will all combine each other, especially our cousins and especially our cousins. We will clash and we will grow up together. And that's for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Donovan. So now I'll turn over the lectern to our general evaluator, who is Justin tonight.
Thank you, John. Hello, Toastmasters. We'll begin the evaluation portion of the meeting. And let's begin with our first evaluator. Cody is going to do an evaluation of the first speech, which was Diego's speech on solutions to climate change. Cody.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I had the privilege to evaluate Diego's speech titled "The Solutions to Climate Change." So this is from the Pathways forums. So it has 3 topics. The first one is, what did Diego excel at? I think giving that simple definition at the beginning of the speech to open it up was a really good idea. You assume that, most everyone would know about climate change by this point because it's a very popular topic on the news, but that might not be the case. It might be somebody in the audience, and you completely lose them at that point. But you opened up with a simple definition, and I thought it was wise. I liked your slides. They were simple, didn't have a lot of information on it. A typical mistake when you're first kind of getting acquainted to PowerPoint and making presentations is you tend to overload it with information, and then you're just reading off your slides. You didn't do that, which is really good. You just had some bullet points and some nice graphs that added to your information, and you were speaking to the audience, not to the PowerPoint. Like I said, you didn't rely on slides for your speech, and you stepped away from the lectern, which I thought was smart when you're doing a presentation. You have the laptop here, kind of covers your face, and you can't see the TV too well. Something you might want to work on, this is area 2 of the evaluation. Didn't really catch much, but on the slide, the too big innovation slide, the text was kind of small in relation to the title, so I thought maybe you could just enlarge that. It's just a kind of simple critique. And the third area is to challenge yourself. I thought maybe some movement away from the computer. I know that you didn't have one, but maybe next time you could have someone run your slides for you, so that way you're kind of free. Or, not expecting you to buy a little presentation clicker, but it's an idea that allows you to kind of walk around. I feel like you're pretty passionate about it, and you show a little more energy by movement around the stage. And that's kind of the points I wanted to go over, and then I had your, the bullet or the bubble text, and I can send that to you. So thanks again, Diego. Great speech, and I will now relinquish the lectern back to our general evaluator.
Thanks, Cody. Great evaluation. So now Maurice is going to be doing an evaluation of the second speech, Olivia's speech. What do you do? Maurice?
Yes, fellow Toastmasters, I've been privileged to do the evaluation for Olivia's speech. I do have it on the wrong evaluation form, and I'll correct that. I'll take this with me and put it on the right evaluation form. This is an evaluation and feedback speech. I have an icebreaker because I have a few spare icebreaker evaluation forms. But the title of her speech is, "What do you do?" She excelled at having consistent speech volume and tone. Something that she may want to work at, and this is what I have problems with myself, is just a little more eye contact with the audience. To challenge yourself, engage with the audience some more, and have more eye contact with the audience. Clarity, language is audible and consistent. Vocal variety, use some vocal variety and change the volume. Eye contact, had some eye contact with the audience. Gestures, used a lot of gestures. And I would just suggest that some of your gestures be more effective with your speech. Audience awareness, she demonstrated some awareness of the audience's response. Comfort level, the speaker was comfortable with the audience. And interest, interesting content, and the speech touched the audience. And again, I will put this on the right evaluation form because I'm pretty sure that there are some different points being emphasized in this evaluation form. But overall, it was a good speech. Mr. General Evaluator.
We'll move on to the reports from the timer, the out counter, and the grammarian. So let's begin with the timer report from Jeremy.
Okay, first I'll go over the two speakers. Diego, for the first speech, went 6 minutes and 32 seconds. Olivia went 5 minutes and 58 seconds. For the table topics, Cody, for the first one, went 1 minute and 25 seconds. Diego went 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Cheyenne went 1 minute and 35 seconds. And Donovan went 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And for the general evaluation, Cody spent 2 minutes and 28 seconds, and Maurice went 1 minute and 58 seconds. And that would wrap it up.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. Don, could you provide us with the out counter report?
Yeah, so Cody, I had you throughout your different roles as only 2 different uses of filler words. And, Justin, I didn't have you for any so far tonight. Diego, in all of your speaking tonight, I only had 3 uses of it. Cheyenne, 0. Sean, I didn't have anything during the course of the night for you either. Donovan, only 2 uses of filler words. And Olivia, just 1.
Don, thank you. Joe, could we have the grammarian report?
I did not catch any grammatical errors in the prepared speeches or the table topics. Olivia and Cheyenne, y'all both used the word languish once, and those are the only 2 that used the word today.
Okay, thank you, Joe. So I'll provide a brief general evaluation of the meeting. Meeting started on time, stuck to the agenda. It's Sean's first time as the Toastmaster. You did a great job, and then also handled the table topics portion, so 2 big roles for the meeting. Diego did a great speech on solutions for climate change. I learned a few things in that. And Olivia, really enjoyed your speech on what do you do? It was inspirational, and it came across as much better developed than you initially let on at the start of your speech. And Sean, on the table topics, I enjoyed the little mix-up rather than just relying on the canned topics. I think that was inspiration for a lot of good speeches. So a little twist, a little something unique for the meeting. And there were some great table topics speeches done, so really enjoyed the table topics tonight. So with that, I'll hand this meeting back over to our Toastmaster.
Justin. Well, now is the time if we have an educational overview tonight, Diego.
Thanks, Sean. This will be a pretty quick educational review. I just want to make sure everyone is able to use the Easy Speak and this new Pathways program effortlessly without a lot of confusion.
Is it needed presentation if they're new?
Yes.
Or new members?
Mm-hmm. If there's any members, or if anyone's confused about it.
Like your background.
Whoops. That's not what I want to show. That's blank, okay. Okay, so we're all familiar with the Easy Speak program, of course, and we're not meeting on Monday, is that's consensus? Okay, well, we can still use this as an example. So all you gotta do is go to Request Speech button over here on the right-hand side of the panel, and even though it's not technically a workbook, it's Pathways, the Easy Speak still considers it a workbook. And so still treat it as normal, just click on the workbook button. And you will see in the old method the competent communication, but once you've done the Pathways evaluation and you selected a path, you should see your specific path show up. And since mine is innovative planning, fortunately that shows up within among the first hits. And then it's pretty straightforward. You just select the speech that you're giving and you indicate what level you're at. So I'll have to do another icebreaker, for example, and you give it a title. And I won't do all the special button presses, and then you click save, and you wait for the Vice President of Education to confirm, okay, you're going to give it at this date, at this time. So it's pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, ask one of the veteran membership here if you have problems with requesting speech under the Pathways program. And that is my education overview, and I'll return back to the Toastmaster for tonight.
Thank you, Diego. I'm still learning the system.
Flip back to me as well.
So we'll turn over the lectern back to our president, Cody.
So Diego has an award, but he didn't bring it today, so we'll celebrate that hopefully not the next meeting, but the following. Do you have any award?
No,
Okay.
but I know I came late, so we established that we're not meeting next week.
Yeah, that was my bad. I sent a follow-up email to
Okay.
say no officer. Well, I guess I'll send another official email to say we will not be meeting, but the officer meeting has been postponed to June 3rd.
Okay. Any more nominations?
Justin says he'll do treasurer again.
Okay.
Anyone challenges him.
All right. I have another thing. Since Lawrence is going to take a hiatus, I'll be willing to take VPE if someone else takes VPPR. And if you do take VPPR, I mean, I'll still record and I'll still be uploading the videos. There'll just be a few basic tasks that the VPPR would do, such as post on Facebook the event for the next meeting, for example. And then you could post some things on the Facebook page, the LinkedIn page, or the Twitter page.
Yeah.
Well, there's more. I mean, I think there's like 3 or 4 people who can do that.
Yeah. And I've done the PR role. It's not too bad. Like you said, we really Facebook is probably the most required one. You just go in there, copy, change the date, send it out, and then it's not too much. And then if you're feeling adventurous and you find an article about public speaking and you want to blast that from our
Can I
Facebook
nominate
page.
Donovan for that role?
I don't mind.
Want to do it?
I like to advertise, so yeah.
She's a good fit for you.
Well, is he already nominated as Sergeant at Arms?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh, my bad.
Well, you can, I mean, we can figure it out with the.
Oh, yeah, I mean-
So,
I mean, if he's willing to,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's not a bad role. So. Okay, well, like Diego showed us, please visit Easy Speak to pick roles.
Okay.
Like it's quite similar to.
Oh, one more thing. So our open house will be the second Monday in June.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So what I'll do, I'll CC you on the email, but I'll notify Kim at the district level that we're going to do an open house, so she can do what she needs to do.
What is an open house?
It's just an event where people from the community, gives the opportunity for people in the community to come and see what Toastmasters is all about.
So it's a regular meeting, just open, just
It'll be a regular
encouraging more
meeting
attendance.
with some extra PR.
Okay.
Yes,
From
yes. And maybe some food, some finger
Yeah, could we
foods.
bring,
Yeah,
I was gonna ask
yeah.
free food, because I will try.
So I think
True.
we should bring food, and then he can advertise that we will be giving away is it one free membership or
One or two.
Yeah, one or two.
I think it's 2 for
so 1 or 2 6-month international dude memberships. I was thinking we could
You
do
might have
like
to come to this open house.
I guess speech contest, and the winner gets.
For the food, do we buy it on our own tab and then we get it reimbursed from Justin, or?
Yeah, it's true. We could.
That or the district. I think there's something in that
There's
email
somebody
about the
possibly.
district reimbursing us.
Okay.
Because we have budget to
Sure.
do some snacks probably.
We don't really have a budget, but yes. I mean, we have
We have
money.
money. Yeah. We have money in the account. Okay.
And then the other thing, so the end of June, we are supposed to have 4 new members in order for the Distinguished Club Award from the international group. Is that right? Is that the deadline?
Yes,
Okay.
end of June, yes.
Okay.
It gives you a chance to invite friends.
Yeah.
Say it's not a real meeting, it's an open house, you won't be expected to speak. So, okay, well, thank you everyone, great meeting, have a nice night.